Hi friends, how you doing? Sorry you're gonna have to look at my head on the way as I'm driving to go pick up my son, but there is something really important, some really important stuff has happened. I've already did like 5 videos for you guys and had to delete them because things just keep changing. Excuse me, I had COVID too, so I'm kind of losing my voice, but it was very mild. I mean, very mild. I'm not complaining. Okay, so, oh my God, I have the biggest, best news for you ever. I mean, ever. Okay, so, if you remember me talking about, I'm sorry about clearing my throat, me talking about the supervisor and how he was trying to teach me how to energy heal. Well, that's not what it was, I found out. I'm going to try and make a long story short, but what it was is that he would have the healing group in a circle. And I always thought that was kind of odd, right? But what he was able to do is he was able to amplify my energy so that I was able to clear what I call the little sillies. I'm going to change their name to the lovies, and you'll know why in a minute. So he realized that I could clear them very quickly. So that's what I was doing. I didn't know that's what I was doing, but I noticed that within seconds, they would be back to their normal self. And if they did it, it would take like hours to get them back. And they were just miserable the whole time, you know, hours, of course. So, and then I noticed he started like trying to get me to stop at certain times. Like sometimes he would come in and kind of shake his head. I'm thinking, what in the world? What is he doing that he wants me to stop? And I thought, well, maybe it's out of respect. You know, maybe being respectful, you know, when somebody big comes in or whatever. No, that wasn't what it was. So then, oh God, this is bad. So then, one day we're running our little healing session thing, and I guess the guys had been trying to tell me to stop, but I hadn't seen them because it becomes this very thick white cloud. Oh geez, my door's gonna do this all the way, I'm so sorry. But it becomes this very thick, like foggy cloud, and I just can't see them well. I can't even see the healing angels. I could not even see them closely at all, let alone be able to take signals. And so, you know, if I could have heard them, then they could have said stop or whatever, but they didn't. So one day after a really productive session, I'm telling you guys, the supervisor shows me that what's happening is that white cloud is a white puff that is released out of their mouth. Okay, and that's why it was getting like super thick and super cloudy. So I asked him, I said, well, is that the material that's being used to build the new world and the new earth? And he said, yes. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yes. So then I was super motivated. I'm like, oh, heck yeah, let's get going. I made up a love song playlist. I mean, I was just turning them around so fast, they never even had a chance to get tired or fatigued. I mean, they looked good, they looked healthy. It was a win-win as far as I was concerned. It was a great situation. So then, like that evening, one of the evenings, a couple days later, an archangel comes in and he throws his hands in the air like, oh my God, great job. What are you doing? You know, you're doing a great job. You're killing it. Well, I had seen him, I had stopped, right? Well then, like, I think it was that same evening, all of a sudden, 3 black beings show up. And I'm telling you guys, I think they were the 3 that had like the smoke faces that were like messing with me. So we had to stop immediately. And everybody stopped and just looked at them. So I'm like, what in the world? I mean, to me, I think they look like demons to me. what you would call your typical demons. I mean, that's what they look like to me. I'm like, why in the heck are they in my house? I'm starting to get mad. But I'm trying to calm my jets. So then the archangel comes back in, and it was obvious that they had told on the supervisor. I didn't know. I mean, I could kind of tell something had happened, and I figured it was linked to them. So same situation comes up. Those three show up. They've already busted me. They've seen me helping, you know. So then they go back, I guess, and tell the archangel. The archangel comes in, and he has a meeting with the supervisor. The supervisor then puts his hand on his hip and is pointing to me, yelling, pointing his finger at me. He's like this big. And I'm thinking, what in the world? Because I'm like, wait a minute here. I didn't figure this out on my own. You know, you helped me to figure this out. You told me what it was for. If I shouldn't have been doing it, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you stop me instead of us doing it? But then I started thinking, and I got madder and madder. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, well, why shouldn't I be? Because it's working. It's not hurting them. Oh, your girl was so upset. I blew up at the archangel. It's a miracle I'm still here. It's like, you know, a testament to their true loving, kind nature. That they didn't toast me on the spot. I was so mad because I'm like, oh God, you guys, I even used the phrase, use your words. Oh my God, I was so mad. Because, I told him, I said, you know, we're on the same team here. Aren't we on the same team? Aren't we playing together on the same team? I said, our whole goal is to get this new world built. So I said, if you are stopping me from helping, I said, when I help, I said, it takes no time at all to clear them. Like nothing. I'm clearing them fast and they're feeling good. But instead you're telling me I should let them do it. I'm guessing that's what you're telling me because he yelled at me. And I told him, I said, blame it on me. I said, because maybe I didn't understand something because I can't hear you. Use your words. I kid you not, I was that mad. Oh my God, I was furious. Because here are these little lovies. And I mean, if you think about what they're doing, they're sacrificing themselves. The healing group, the dark healing group, I say dark because they look like hair bands from the 80s. They're adorable. But they are doing something to them that is aggressive. And then they go up, they're very ill, but this white puff comes out, the plasma comes out. So these people are volunteering to do this. And it's miserable for them. I mean, you can see it, right? So my heart was broken. I'm like, why can't I do it? So the next morning, I woke up, and this is really funny. I woke up, and the supervisor was on the other side of my bed, and he was pointing his finger at me again, and he was going, I don't know if you can see my mouth, but it looked like no. And I said, what in the world are you saying? I can't hear you. I said, in our language, we use our tongue also to speak, to make the sound. So what you're doing is either low, no, row, go. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying. And I thought, how much trouble can I really get into when I'm sleeping? But then, you know, guys, I felt sorry for the supervisor. I felt bad for him because he did something very wrong, something he wasn't supposed to do. So he ended up ultimately getting fired. I'll say fired. I don't know. He disappeared. He wasn't working there anymore. They sent in other crews to help with the extractions, you know, to teach these guys, I guess, how to do it more effectively so that I wouldn't be so enticed to help. But I mean, I wasn't sure if they were stopping me because, you know, it was going to be disrespectful because there was somebody big coming in or not. So there's a whole lot more to this story, but I'm at my ex's house real quick to pick up my son. Maybe I'll just really quick tell you why I'm waiting on my son to come in. So the supervisor gets fired. They send people in trying to help. And you can tell by the guys' faces that they're like, yeah, they're a tough nut to crack kind of thing, you know. I'd gotten so stressed out. I mean, so stressed out. Here I am. I'm like, it's like looking at your best friend or your sister, your cousin, your brother through a sliding glass door, and they are screaming and crying, and you know that all you have to do is to walk through that glass door, and you can hug them and they will be okay. They will settle down. They'll be okay. But there's somebody there who tells you that you cannot walk through that glass door. You're not allowed to walk through the glass door. I mean, that's how bad it's been. It has just tore me up. So one night, the night I guess they fired the supervisor, when they all went out, the little ones came back, and it was all clear in my house. I guess they had a big group meeting. It's all clear in my house, and they came back, and they gave me just tons of love. I could see them very clearly because, you know, wasn't all the fog in the room. And they know, they can tell that how much I love them and how much it just kills me to see that. Well, I decided that I need to talk to somebody. I need to figure this out because I don't really have anybody to talk to about this stuff. And it'd been nagging in my head, Asherah. She was also known as Venus, the goddess of love, Isis, the fertility goddess. I know it sounds weird, right? But I thought, if anybody would understand the love that I have for these little ones, and I had just learned about her not too long ago, and I mean, I thought, you know, I'm going to try going into that collective consciousness field or whatever and just talk to her. You know, I'm thinking how crazy this sounds, right? Like, I'm not going to talk to, you know, a goddess, but I'm like, I got to talk to somebody with a heart, you know, because this is really killing me. So I went into that collective consciousness and meditation. I kind of like thought, you know, like I'm talking to her. I'm like, I know you're not real, and I know I'm just talking to myself, but I really just need to get this out. It's killing my heart. And I figured, you know, who would understand me better except the the goddess of love. So, and I kept saying, yeah, I know this is not real. I know I'm not really talking to you. I said, but I got to get it off my chest because it's killing me. So like, so the next day I talked to her again. I'm like, why not? I'll just talk to her. Yeah, why not? The next day, oh my God, somebody came into the room and they all prostrated on the floor. I'm not talking about a waist bow. I'm talking they all dropped to the floor. I don't know. And to me, it looked like maybe, I mean, they really didn't look that fancy. You know, when like something like out of the ordinary. So I don't know which one it was. One of them was a little shorter than the other one. Both had blonde hair, but they got like way down, and things really settled down after that. So I don't know, maybe I was talking to Asherah. Maybe she was actually listening to me. So things really did seem to settle down after that. So to recap, what they're doing is they're popping this plasma out of all the little lovies, right? So there was also a guy there who was flashing. I've been calling him a brain tumor guy, just joking, because he apparently is a very, very high level. And I don't know if he's the same one, but he showed himself to me one day. And oh my God, I told my son, I said, you know what? I said, if that man was a cult leader, I would have drank the Kool-Aid. I mean, I hate to say it, but it was one of these encounters where he stood, you know, a ways back, not too far, maybe 5-6 feet away, something like that. And he just like walks out with his finger like to let me know that he was the one that was flashing. Because I said, my goodness, who is flashing? So he came out and, oh my gosh, I mean, just that kind of charisma. He had like kind of shoulder length, like dark brown hair, and he had a little bit of a feline appearance in the front, like a lyran. If you don't know what lyrans are, you can look them up. They are excuse me, I think they're from the Pleiades star system, and they are lion-looking humanoids. So they're amazing. I have one of those as a cloud guardian that came in. Now, let me tell you about my cloud guardian situation. I think that the supervisor did something really bad. I think that he had Betty kicked out, the one I call Betty, my cloud guardian. I think he had Betty kicked out because he didn't want any witnesses. He didn't want anybody who could tell what he was doing. Because another time, the cloud guardians came in and they were all ushered out. And I just thought, well, they want me to focus my attention. They don't want, the distractions. So I thought, okay, that's cool. That's not what it was. I think he was trying to keep everything undercover. So 2 nights ago, the healing guys, they're amazing too. They stand up and do a standing ovation for all the lovies that came in. So I'm like, oh my God, here we go. It must be made. Then I noticed like some friction, some hostility kind of going on. So when I see that, I asked one of them, I said, did you need more material? I said, did the supervisor underestimate how much you needed? He said, yeah. God dang it. So he had told them, I guess, that he could produce so much of this plasma, and I'm guessing maybe he was either I don't think he was basing that off of my help, but I think once he realized that I was capable of really helping him, that's when he put that plan into place. And the 3 guys, demon looking guys, I'm telling you, sometimes it's like, I used to be such a normal, I was a past president of a Rotary Club, you guys. I mean, so some of this just really and truly, I mean, blows me away. I mean, it just blows me away. So, I guess I think that he was kind of taking advantage of, he was figuring, that with my help, he might be able to make those goals. I felt so bad for them. You just don't know. Here they are. They're expecting that the world is complete, and it's not. So it took I take it about, it was about 3 days ago. So it took about 3 days of a bunch more volunteers coming in. I mean, there were so many people. It was unreal how many were coming in. So they finally got it done today. Oh my God, isn't that wonderful? They were sending people through, and when I say it's done, it's not completely done. They're still sending people through to let out the plasma puffs in certain places, I guess. Maybe some areas that were thin, but they all pulled it off. I can't even begin to tell you the things that I have seen. It is amazing. They have put forth so much. And once I understood, because I'd seen the healing angels, the dark guys, I'd seen them doing some stuff that really, truly kind of disturbed me to the little ones, the little lovies. But then I realized what it was once I finally figured out what it was. And then seeing them stand up and giving all of them, the others, a standing ovation. Oh my gosh, it just really touched my heart. And I finally got to see a couple of them because I said something about that, I really can't see you because it's so white and foggy in here and you're busy, and I know that. I don't want to interrupt you. So they came up to me, and oh my goodness, they're cute as a minute. They remind me of the hair bands from the 80s, you know, big hair. Everybody has a lot of hair. It's not everybody, but most everyone has a lot of hair. I also looked up on the internet some of these main people that you've heard me talk about. I looked up similar images to them and found some. So I will get that out also. I'm trying to be so careful, you guys, because I don't know who I might end up getting in trouble. You know, that's the bottom line. When I'm there, I mean, if some of them I know are not going to, you know, be getting in trouble. But like the 3 demon-looking guys, I told them, I said, look, I'm going to make this very clear right now. If somebody hurts you here on earth, you are allowed to get a restraining order against them, which means they cannot come anywhere near you or your property. And if they ever come back in my property, I'm sending them out of here post-haste, and it's not going to be nice. Because, see, we have the ability to manipulate energy. We have the ability to knock them into the void, and they know it. And, of course, you know, it's not in their best interest that the world gets complete. But it is in our best interest and everybody else's best interest that it gets finished. Like I said, right now, I think they're just sending it's almost like they're on, I want to say like an amusement park ride where it's like, you know, rows, like long rows, you know, those rides that do that tilting thing. It's kind of like that because it rocks them, and I think that's part of what brings out that white poofy stuff. The plasma, I think, is what it is. So they were kind of going in tours around the New World, and one of them came to me and allowed me to look through him. That's another thing. There's some really interesting things that I haven't been able to tell you guys because like the situation with the supervisor and those others, I didn't know how bad it was going to get. I didn't know what was going to happen. But today, oh my goodness, they know how much I enjoy clearing them. They let me spend hours this morning clearing them. Because, you know, it's not just me. It's the healers around me also. I can do it, but I'm like slow as molasses. It takes me quite a bit of time, like maybe, I'd say quite a bit of time, maybe like 45 seconds to a minute, you know, maybe a minute and a half by the time everything's done. But when the healers are amplifying my energy, oh my goodness, it's going so fast. And I got to tell you about this little angel that has just tickled me to no end. Now, I've had most of the time, I've not like been intimidated or uncomfortable around the angels at all. I mean, not even a little bit. It's kind of surprised me really because I thought I would be. One of them gave me the rock star moment. You know, I saw him and he's the one I call him beautiful. I call him beautiful to his face too because he's beautiful. He is absolutely perfect. I mean, his face is what you would imagine a perfect man to look like. Long, white, curly hair. And he's the one that grabbed up little Sam when I thought little Sam was going to die and brought him over to me, and it really, like, revived him. I have to give him credit for saving Sam. And then the rock star moment was when I saw him over top of somebody, and he just gently floated down to comfort them. Oh, my God, it was beautiful. I mean, it really was. And then Snarky Angel, the one that bluff charges, growls at you. I blow him kisses now because it gets him, he laughs, it throws him off guard, it tickles him, so then he behaves himself for a little while. But, oh my goodness, there's one that has just got me wrapped around his little fingers. I don't know how big he is, if he's, you know, as big as the other ones or smaller or whatever, but he wears a dog mask. I want you to think about this. An angel that wears a dog mask and looks like Scooby-Doo. He is hilarious. He would come by me and like, he would know when I wasn't paying attention. For some reason, he would just know. Chomp. And when he wants to get my attention now, he'll like tickle me, or he moved my chair, rocked my chair the other day. I'm like, my goodness, I didn't realize I could do that. And there's this cute little one. Oh my goodness, looks more feminine. Most of them do look masculine, but it's a very pretty masculine. You know, they're not like lumberjack manly men. You know, they're not ruddy. They're very feminine looking, beautiful men. And one of them is so tiny. Oh my goodness. And so cute. Looks more like a girl to me, I think, than a man. But just adorable. I couldn't find anything, of course, that really would show you what they looked like. If you, sometimes they'll have, like on these channels, they'll have them, some of the angels, they'll have them as like Palladians or something. And they're very similar. They really are. They might actually be one and the same. I mean, I don't know. We've got so much to learn, you know? I mean, we really do. We've got a lot to learn. There's so many cool things. Like the healers that are, I told you they're in black sometimes, and sometimes they're in white. They are adorable too. And I know that they can shapeshift. They can change their appearance. So I don't know if that's what they really look like, but they're cute as a minute. They really are. And the other ones are all different sizes. And I thought I saw a little Sam with some elfin-looking ears. So cute. I saw 3 small flying people come out of the new earth. They opened up like, it's so funny. They had like a wooden door between. It was on the wall that's between my living room and my kitchen. And it just like tattered and fell apart. It was the strangest thing, you know, to watch. And so then all of a sudden there's big thick curtains, like you know, like you would see at a theater. So there are just some amazing things happening. I don't know when it will be completely finished, but I'm really, really curious if this changes any of our solar issues, you know, like our the releases from our sun. So I'm going to watch that. I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.